Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently attempting to push through North America, but man, these supply zones are kind of intense. Like, if I can actually not overshoot them. There we go. Like, look at these. Absolutely bonkers, these supply zones. Regardless, we have ourselves a fallback line, and so we should not have too big of an issue. This is our current fallback line. We could always get more, and I think we will get new fallback lines once we actually have some idle civilian factories. Like, we don't need additional bases from what we have right now. It looks like we've pushed back to being next to San Francisco. That's excellent. And we're pushed back out. That's also excellent. We're just kind of bouncing back and forth here. There's no doubt about that. We should definitely consider perhaps running some region-wide industrial integration. And we could do industrial land appropriation. I don't think there's any reason to do so. I really don't. We're currently at 98% war support, so that's going well. Excellent. And I would absolutely love to see us getting some more coring done. I don't know if coring is something that can even be done in this game, but maybe when the compliance reaches 100%. Which, I mean, if we look over at, like, Poland area, like up here, we didn't start with this, right? Like, specifically, if we look at... Where are we? This is like Russia. Over in this region, over here. Yeah. So this is at this point cored. So I think it just happens automatically when this number reaches 100%. I think. I don't know that for a fact, but that's my theory. And at that point, we should be able to develop our resources much more thoroughly. I think. I hope. I wish. Regardless, we're making some progress here. If we look at our infrastructure, we can see that we don't have control over a lot of this. That said, we almost have direct control over Arizona at this point. We just need to take this. I'm interested in seeing how exactly... Oh, actually, we need to change this front line. Specifically, we need to edit it so that this comes back like that. There we go. Fantastic. We've got a big ol' Santa Fe-sized bulge in New Mexico going on here. I think we'll have Santa Fe once again quite soon. And overall, we appear to be winning. Ish. Emphasis on the ish. Now, we are, of course, currently fully supplied with troops, and we do have additional troops being recruited at a prodigious rate. Now, these are not necessarily going to be anything other than reserve troops for right now. We may want to consider cutting back on our recruitment again. So we could take, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is what, 10 divisions? We could cancel production, or more specifically, we could allow these to finish, cancel production on this line, and then cancel production on these when they're done. We'll cancel production on these two and bring that down to 3. And we'll do the same on these two. Okay, so we'll allow these to finish up. There we go. And we will cancel production on those lines. And we will allow our manpower to begin coming back up. And then these guys will enter a reserve army over here. And for now, we're probably just going to tell this army that its mission is to just do, like, area defense over, like, in this region. So it comes over kind of near the front, but not super near. Something like that. Excellent. Well, we're making some progress on Santa Fe. In fact, we just took it. No, we're falling back. And, hey, Chickasaw W14_ADJ has capitulated. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and start working on infrastructure in New Mexico. I don't necessarily think we're going to hold Santa Fe forever. Regardless... Well, these guys aren't actually moving into Santa Fe. Fascinating. Regardless, we're still going to continue working on our infrastructure in the region. Navajo should capitulate very soon as well, which that's going to be a big boon for us. Just as soon as San Francisco falls, Navajo will capitulate. I'm very confident in that. So that is excellent. We can check in on the state of naval coverage. It's looking okay. I'm not too concerned about these coasts, honestly. Ooh, there's another nuke going off. We don't care. Completely irrelevant to us. Nice of them to use that, though. So we should definitely edit this front line over here. Remove this back to be, say, here. And then we edit this front line to include this province, like that. That said, maybe we want this division to be on... Yeah, we probably do. We probably want this division to be on this state line for the purpose of logistics. So instead, we would want this front line to be like that. Excellent. Okay, so let's take a look at how we're doing on infrastructure. Looks good. Texas's infrastructure is still being attacked. Unfortunately, we haven't managed to take all this. Oh, they pushed us out of there? No, they didn't. Okay, never mind. Yeah, we're very close to controlling all of Texas, but we don't quite control it for infrastructure purposes yet. However, Navajo is incredibly close to capitulation here. San Francisco is basically cut off. I don't think that you can cross this bay. I think you have to go around. So they do have a naval base there, but that's only 6 supply throughput. So these guys are pretty screwed, honestly. Like, they're gonna get stack wiped, I'm pretty sure. As long as we hold here, anyway. We did manage to lose a unit over here. In fact, we've lost several. I'm going to assign all of these guys into this army for now. Ojibwa broke our cipher. We've got free military factories. I'm going to go ahead and toss those into, I guess, additional advanced artillery. Excellent. So we'll continue pushing these guys back. These guys are pocketed and having an extremely hard time resupplying. You can see that they're losing their infantry templates from Blackfoot here. And that's a huge, huge pocket. They're going to be very hard-pressed to replace that, honestly. Very, very hard-pressed. We should probably take a look at our air situation. Okay, things are going reasonably, I'll say. Except for over here on the west coast. We're struggling a little bit over here. I actually would have expected us to be doing a little bit better over here. This is pretty much just bombers. I mean, we are definitely making a dent in them. There's no doubt about that. And as far as this goes, they're down to 57 infantry over here. And it's just ongoing. We're just going to continue to chip away at these in San Francisco. Excellent. Chickasaw must be getting incredibly close to capitulation right now. Like, if we look at these guys, they currently have 118,000 manpower. That's not a lot. And if we look in here, we can see that they are currently 52% towards capitulation. We're making good progress on that front. San Francisco has been wiped. Either that or they evac, one or the other. But San Francisco falls, and I believe Navajo goes with it. Oh, they got a unit there briefly. Well, we gonna get it? We did. And shockingly, Navajo didn't actually didn't actually capitulate there. Do they have other things? Okay, there they capitulated. That's more like it. Wonderful. With those two gone, that will go a long ways towards helping us. Now we have this territory. We'll lose this. They are going to take this over for sure. That's okay. I don't mind. Where is the victory point here? In Nevada. Oh, Nevada, Utah is a single state. Okay, that's exciting. These guys are in retreat. I'm not a huge fan of that, but whatever. Are we capped? Can you have only 999 political power? No, I think you can have more than that. I'm pretty sure you can. Okay, we definitely want to build infrastructure in Nevada, Utah, as well as in California. We also want to be prioritizing repairing infrastructure, of course. Just like that. Fantastic. Honestly, repairing this fort is irrelevant. There we go. Wonderful. So let's keep working on our infrastructure, and in the meantime, we are definitely pushing Chickasaw back. That's great to see. I'm noticing that they have built level 1 land forts in a lot of locations. I'm wondering if it's like super efficient to build one level of land fort and then not anymore. That's a possibility. Regardless, we are going to continue pushing these guys back. We need to keep an eye on this situation, though, because this will need to be continuously edited, it seems. That is not the button I was looking for. I hit the left mouse button instead of the right mouse button. We want to edit it to be that. Wonderful. How's the infrastructure in New Mexico looking? It's pretty damaged, and we are still working on constructing additional infrastructure there. So, noted. That said, our supplies in Texas are still hot garbage. Perfect. We're making a lot more gains over here because we're not stretched as thin supply-wise. Just because the states over here are just shaped better, honestly. This is a super awkward state to try to fight through. Like, mega awkward. That said, once we get out of the Texas, Arizona, Oklahoma New Mexico. The Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma tri-supply area here, tri-state supply area, this will get much better. Oh, we've maybe pushed them out of Arizona. That's a big deal if so. That is a huge deal if we've successfully pushed them out of Arizona, and if we can keep them. Why do I keep saying Arizona? This is New Mexico. Awkward. But yeah, if we can keep them out of New Mexico, that is a huge deal. Like, over here, sure, we're taking the supply area over. This is fine. I'm not concerned. I'm a little concerned about what's going on over here, to be sure. Like, I wish I could just set this to be like, you know, you don't need to be part of this state. That would be nice, but alas, that's not how this works. Or if you could have army groups that automatically did this, that would also be a decent way to solve it. Okay, so we need 4 additional units here. We need 3 here, 2 here, we need 1 here. That's fine. That is completely fine. We're currently working on allowing our manpower to replenish a little bit, but in reality, we are going to be struggling on that front, for sure. But if we look at this, we should start seeing our supply in this state coming up, because, that's not the button I was looking for, because we are starting to repair in New Mexico. That said, anytime we're being attacked, we're not repairing. So that's the thing. These guys are both on aggressively execute, which is good. How are we doing on our recruitments? You know what? I've changed my mind back. We're taking enough losses that I think this is worthwhile. to have these in recruitment. Okay, so we can do an industrial-wide, or rather a region-wide industrial integration. Excellent. And that would, in theory, allow us to construct additional civilian factories in some locations. Over here. Fantastic. As well as over here, actually. Wonderful. More civilian factories. That's what we're looking for. So we are now starting to fight for Ojibwan territory. I do like that. I like that quite a lot. So hypothetically, yeah, you'd have to go all the way around. I'm not sure why this guy's just sitting here, but I just wanted to check to make sure that there was no path through there. And that is indeed correct. Well, we are definitely making big gains here, although it's not really making gains over here, unfortunately. All of the gains are being made by this army group up here, which is slightly awkward. Army group... What army group is this? Army group 4. Army group 5 is struggling. There's no doubt about that. Trying to push to Vicksburg, not having a ton of success there. Although we have pushed out over here, which is nice because that's the supply area, but we're going to get pushed back almost certainly, and almost immediately. That's okay. I'm not too concerned about that. However, we are currently incredibly close to having full control of Texas. We also lost full control over New Mexico, which is not ideal, to be sure. And we got it back. However, the more push that we have going on over here, the better this is. What is the actual pattern it's going for here? Okay. Noted. That's fine. We may want to think about getting a third army group over here at some point, depending on how this line ends up shaping up. That said, no matter how thinly we're stretched, they're going to be stretched similarly thinly. Right? So that's a thing. And being stretched thinly is beneficial for us because of supplies. We're more, I believe, supply efficient than they are. So that's something to note. We could do some war support, or some war propaganda rather, but our war support is maxed, so I don't think we need to worry about that. Okay, we have an unassigned division here, and we will assign that over to our struggling armies. Wonderful. Let's get these on over. There we go. How many more? That's it. Fine. That was a good number of divisions that we're going to pop over here. And of course, we are going to be having a number more coming in soon. So that is great. Very happy to see that. We're going to be having 5 more coming in. Is Oregon in this war? Yes, they are. Noted. Blackfoot we know is. Pueblo is, I believe. Yes. Alaska is. Fantastic. So that's everybody up here except maybe Newfoundland? Nope, Newfoundland is in this. And it's these guys as well? Yup. So we are fighting literally every nation in North America. Perfect. That's what we like to see. Funny thing is, these guys are considered to be quite a lot stronger. That is definitely odd to me. Whereas these guys are, like, equally matched with these over here. Fascinating. I want to check in on this border. Yeah, this border needs to change. So these guys are going to go ahead and not be stretched this thinly. We are going to move this front line to not include any of this. And just stop right there. And then these guys, we're going to move their front line, for now, to stop right there. Excellent. We don't need them stepping on each other's toes right now. However, if we look at this, we can see this is a separate supply area, and this might actually be able to be constructed. Yeah, infrastructure time. Let's get that built. Top priority is, of course, always on infrastructure. Absolutely always. Wonderful. Get it underway. And let's take a look at our supplies over here. 167 out of 125. Yeah, this is definitely improving logistically. I like it. Nope, that's not what I intended to do. Okay. We were not pushed out of Oklahoma City here, but we have been pushed out of about half of Oklahoma. Which is unfortunate, to be sure. That said, we're going to have no real problem pushing through Wyoming here. And logistically, these are all part of one supply zone, right? Or is this each state a supply zone here? No, I don't think that's true. I think it's these 3 states are a supply zone. Okay, I can deal with that. I can definitely deal with that. We're doing fine on our border up here. Looks good. We've got some guys pocketed over here. I always like to see that. And look at how few there are here. Or rather, how many there are. They had like 20 divisions there, so that's another big wipe for them. Things are going very, very well for us right now. And that is, of course, exactly what we want to see. We are making great progress. Oh, hello, we can start building infrastructure in Wyoming now. Did I call Colorado Wyoming? Wow. Okay, so how's our border up here doing? It looks fine, honestly, so far. Very nice. We're going to continue pushing through over this way, of course. And we're going to hope to push into Louisiana a bit harder than this. That said, I'm content with this as it is. We're making solid gains. Sure, it's costly. We always knew this would be the case. However, once we take North America, then the real work begins. The Caribbean, and all these little islands around, starting to invade the South Pacific, Australia. It's going to be rough. And at some point, we're going to have to get Ming in here. Look at that recruitable manpower. Yikes. If we wanted to increase our conscription, that would be painful. That would be quite painful. Okay, noted. So these guys are going to go ahead and move into this army. These guys into here. These guys into here. These guys will go into this army. And we're actually maxed out again, so these guys can go into a reserve force. And of course, they will be simply doing an area defense over in this area. Excellent. Just so that they get on their way over here and can get to the front relatively quickly. How are we doing on our South American coring? We're making progress. So that's good. The area that we initially invaded is almost up to 90% compliance. So that is absolutely wonderful. We will very soon have Oregon taken over, and then we'll take over Washington, which is labeled Oregon here and is definitely not confusing at all. We're currently getting about 70,000 monthly recruitable growth. That's a good sign. That said, our available manpower is declining, but once we're through North America here and invading these areas over here, that should be relatively cheap in terms of manpower. And then we're going to have just a ludicrous amount to throw at the Ming region. How many of these are in the Ming faction? China's actually independent. Fascinating. At any rate, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to continue pushing across North America. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I'll see you all next time when I'll notice this mess. Oh boy.